Thus far we've talked about big things, the gopi prem and this and that and that. But then the nuts and bolts is we need to do sadhana. What is sadhana? The practice of sadhan bhakti. Narad says the acharyas have sung about it. The goal, as we discussed, is service of God. And the necessary requisite for service is siddha bhakti, divine love. Siddha bhakti cannot be cultivated. It's not that like you plant a seed and it grows into a sapling and becomes a tree. Likewise, you will cultivate siddha bhakti in your heart. It's not like that. Nitya siddha Krishna prema sadhya kabhunay. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, this is an eternal entity. It is the divine Shakti of God. So, siddha bhakti will be received by the grace of God whenever He chooses to bestow it. The delay is not from His side. The limitation here is we don't have a proper vessel for it. Now you say, what vessel are you talking about? Are Guruji, you just give me the Divya Prem. You know, it will not last in the heart. If Guruji gives it to you with your kinds of thoughts, you will short circuit it in just a few hours and it will all be gone. It needs a vessel of that level. The vessel must be strong enough. When soldiers go marching to cross a bridge up in the mountains, a bridge that is made of wood, the soldiers, they break their step. Because if they sustain the step, the bridge was not designed for 400 feet coming down, left, right, left. That bridge would have collapsed. It has happened many a times during the Rath Yatra in Odisha. To watch the Rath Yatra, 100 people sat on the roof of a house. Now the designer, he never designed the roof with that idea that you'd have an extra 100 into 50 kg means out there you have half a ton extra load, so the roof comes down. Likewise, this prem we are talking about is so intense. If we received it now, even our body would get charred by it. It is said of the disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Roop and Sanatan, they were renunciants. Mahaprabhu ji had given them the seva that you teach by your example, lead super renounced lives and expound on the scriptures. And they produced so many scriptures, but in their renunciation, they would sleep under a different tree every night. We don't even want to give scope to the mind to get attached to a tree. Because if we are under the same tree on 2 nights, we may get attached. It's just a level of renunciation that they displayed. But the love in their heart was so intense that the saying goes, the tree under which they slept, its leaves would get burnt. This is the intensity of the love. Now, of course, the ultimate form of it resides in Radha ji. Aurvastomat katurapi katham durvaleno rasame tapah praudho harivirahajah sahyate tannajane nishkranta chet bhavati hridayadyasya dhumachatapi brahmandanam sakhikulam jvalaya jajvaliti. When Radha ji does not have darshan of Sri Krishna, the fire of separation that burns in her heart, from the fire emanate flames. On top of a flame is smoke. Above the smoke is what is called abhas. The change in temperature creates a visible abhas. If the abhas of the smoke coming from the flames of the fire of separation in Radhaji's heart were to come out of her body, this universe of Chaturmukhi Brahma would be incinerated to ashes. That kind of love. Mind-boggling. But she keeps it under control by Yoga Maya. Now, diluted form of that is with the Mahasakhis, and less diluted with the Sakhis, less diluted with the Manjaris, etc., etc., etc. So, even if we were to get a little aspect of that love, we would have suffered multiple cardiac arrests. So, what is necessary is the vessel for it. As the saying goes, that the milk of a lioness needs a golden vessel to hold. Every other vessel, the milk will flow through. So to create the vessel, we need to do sadhana. And Narad is now, he's talking about doing sadhana. What is sadhana? Sadhana is practice. Thus far we've talked about big things, the gopi prem and this and that, which is all good. It's absolutely essential to get the right orientation. It's essential to be inspired. But then the nuts and bolts is we have to practice. Practice has got no other substitute. Everything you learned was through practice. Let's say a villager who has never seen a keyboard comes and sees a person typing on his PC keyboard. He sees the fingers flying like this, and the guy is typing 80 words in a minute. He says, "Oh my God, how does he think so fast? Does he have some yogic siddhis? He's thinking and he's contemplating and he's also writing and his fingers are just flying. How does he do it?" Well, literally anybody can do it through 1 year's practice. Practice helps us achieve anything. When you go to a circus and you see these people, they are walking on a rope at a height of 100 feet. And the acrobat on his head, he's got a saucer on that, a cup, a saucer, cup, saucer, cup, saucer, cup. People say, magic? How did he do it? It was all practice. You have to decide, practice, practice, practice. Now, as an example, I was just reading somewhere that the Orientalists, they emphasize a lot on martial arts. So they have a sensei, the teacher of martial arts. And the Japanese have a kensei. He is a soldier saint. A saint who is yet adept at martial arts. So one person who observed this kensei, he says, "My God, he used to practice 2,000 times drawing the sword from the sheath in a day. And sometimes it would go down to 10,000 times." Wow! Well, the fact is, this practice is what will make perfect. The US Navy SEALs are famous for their practice because they believe that when the crisis situation arises, you don't rise to the height of your aspiration, you fall to the level of your repeated practice. These are all physical abilities cultivated through practice. As a sadhak, you should do mental practice. You wish to conquer anger. Don't wait for the situation to arise that my spouse says this to me, then I'll remember what Naradji said and I'll not be angry. No, that's not the time to practice. You practice in advance. Practice in your mind thousands of times. My spouse is saying nasty things. I am just tolerating. As an example, practice telling your mind the world is not mine. Practice telling your mind Sri Krishna, Radha ji are mine. Practice, 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 practice. If martial arts exponents can do it 10,000 times, as lovers of God, why should we not do it 100,000 times? And that is what will take you forward.